Hello everyone, my name is Jesse, and welcome back to another Bakugan review. Today we're going to be reviewing, I guess it would be Shun's team, Shun's evolution line or whatever, from the first two seasons of the show because they're my favorite, and they're what I like to collect. So we have Skyress, Storm Skyress, Ingram, and Master Ingram. Um, so some of these are incredibly hard to get and incredibly rare, and I'll kind of talk about them as I go through them all. We're going to start with Skyress and Storm Skyress, and then we're going to move on to the next season with Ingram and Master Ingram, and we're kind of just going to showcase everything and talk about them, what I like, what I dislike, and all that. It's going to be a good time. So, to start off, we're going to be using this card right here. It's a Skyress card, if you're curious, and we're just going to be using it to pop open the Bakugan. So first up is a B1 Ventus Skyress. This puppy was hard to come by. It is B1 open core. It's the real deal. One of the first made, because if you don't know, if they show this open metal piece right here and they're legit Bakugan, like they have all the right colors, and then the molding, like the manufacturer molding on the Bakugan, they're legit. That means they're like first generation, I guess. They're one of the first made in the batch. After that, they started putting like a plastic covering over them. So this guy's old, really old. And it was very hard to come by. I got it. I was like searching online and found a lot, like a big Bakugan lot for like over $1,000. It was crazy. There's just a ton of Bakugan in it. And I spotted this one out of the bunch and was like, I contacted the person. I was like, hey, could you sell this to me? And they did. Cost me like $65, I think, which was almost like relatively cheap considering. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, these things are like almost impossible to find now. Yeah, so let's go ahead and like talk about it, I guess. First off, love the design. Ventus is a really cool attribute, and just like the green flames on it are super sick. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like the mohawk thing, like popping out whenever it wants. I find that annoying, but that's in like all Skyresses. I think some of them might lock now, like the B2 might lock, but I'm not 100% sure on that because I only collected the B1 version. So I don't know for sure, but it's kind of nice because the only manual parts are just the feet here, and they're pretty easy to pop out. And then you kind of just need to get the mohawk out, and then you just pop it down. But see, then like sometimes the mohawk doesn't want to come out. Yeah, so this one is 320 Gs. You can see that right there, maybe. Yeah, 320. And yeah, like it kind of flops out, which I'm not a fan of, but I mean, Skyress is just such a cool Bakugan. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with one of these if you can get your hands on it. It's just, this was probably the hardest Bakugan I've had to try and find. It was very difficult. At least top three most difficult to get a hold of. Yeah. And then she's also relatively easy to close once you learn how. Just bend the feet back in, and then you kind of just need to close the mohawk, and these two things need to kind of click together, so close them at the same time, and then wings just click right in, just like that. Cool. Alright, up next is Storm Skyress. So this is B2, so a lot bigger than regular Skyress. I'm not a fan of this guy, this Bakugan. I guess it's a girl, really, from the anime. I'm not a fan of it, at least in the ball design. In the show, it was really cool, but the ball design, I hate, and I can kind of like show you. So you can't really open the legs first without popping open a wing. So you have to pop it down on the card first, so like that. And then you can bring the feet out. I don't know why, but I'm not used to that, and I don't like it. As well as all of these different, like the mohawk piece, and then it has these little flappy wing pieces here. I guess they're feathers. I'm not a huge fan of that, and they get in the way when closing the ball too. But the inside color, like all this purple and whatever, like the teal on, I guess teal green on purple, is amazing. And Skyress, just the Storm Skyress looks so intimidating, which is kind of neat. 500 Gs there, so much stronger than my regular Skyress. And yeah, so I'll kind of do a spin. You can see the whole thing. It does look really sick. It's just a pain in the butt to like try and close back together. Yeah, so to sort of like close it back together, let me see if I can remember how to do it. So you feet first, and then you close the wings, right? Yeah, and then like the head kind of closes with it, sorta. I always struggle, but yeah, it kind of clasps in there. I know that was probably horrible to see. I really don't want to open it again. It takes me multiple tries sometimes. So the fact that I was able to do it just like that fast is a miracle. But yeah, still a pretty cool addition to any collection, I think. Alright, so the next card we're going to be using is a tricolor boost card. Kind of features Ingram on it. This is what like the one I use to like sit the Ingram evolution line on when I display them. So we're going to place that down. First up is translucent Ventus Ingram. So if you guys are kind of unfamiliar with my collection habits, so for the second season, the new Vestroya season, I tried to collect all the main characters in translucent versions if they had them available. So this is like one of them. So like I have all the different main characters in a translucent version. So this is just a translucent Ingram. This was kind of difficult to find, I guess. Storm Skyress was easy. This one wasn't like impossible to find. Like I searched it up and it was kind of there, but it was expensive. It cost me $40, I think, which to me was a little bit too high. But the ball design is super sick, just very sleek, and I don't know, it's super awesome. The one problem I have with it is the magnet. It definitely opens the Bakugan up, but it's very like back heavy, so it kind of like falls forward, and you'll kind of see what I mean. But yeah, so Ingram only has 2 manual parts, well 3, but 2 that you need to like open it, which are the feet. And then all you do is pop her down, and I like how she opens. It's very like explosive. So 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So yeah, if you can kind of tell by like turning it, it's very like one-sided, and she doesn't really like stay on the card very well. But I mean, this is just amazing, and I can even like pop up her mask here. So like that. Yeah, and I can kind of give you guys a spin here so you can kind of see her. I really like the tail. I like how long it is, similar to like Viper Helios in another video I did. I like how big they are. I think it's super neat. Yeah, but like I said, she just doesn't stay on the card very well. Like she just falls right off, and I don't know if that's like a manufacturer thing or if that's how all of them are. I'm not sure, but it's kind of annoying. But I mean, it's not too bad. So this one's 650 Gs, so pretty good. If you can see that, it's right there. Yeah, one of my cooler Bakugans to take a look at, I think, especially if you're a fan of like Shun and Ingram. Yeah, so also kind of easy to close. Feet go in first, and then what I really like about this Bakugan is like everything closes into like, it's like you go from bottom up. So feet, then the wings shut, then you can kind of get the head down, and then all of these just sort of go right into place. And you have to hold all these down, so it's kind of difficult for some. And then the tail just kind of goes and clicks it all together. So they all holds by just the tail. Super nice. All right, so up next is a translucent Master Ingram. I see plenty of the non-translucent Ventus version online, but not a translucent version, so I honestly can't tell you how rare this is. I don't know, but it's definitely up there because you don't find the translucent version a lot. I paid $55 for this thing. It's a Japan exclusive, only made in Japan, and yeah, so I don't have an exact like how rare it is, but I don't ever see these online. The fact that I did is it was very like random. I was just searching and all of a sudden it popped up and I was like, whoa, what the heck? So I bought it because I needed it for the collection, because I want to get all the evolutions translucent if I can. Some of these like second evolutions to the new Vestroya line are very, very hard to come by. Yeah, so this is super cool. Master Ingram is, I think, the only Ventus Bakugan to have 2 attribute symbols, so one here and one here. So that makes this Bakugan like super special. Yeah, so again, Master Ingram's also pretty easy. All you do is pop the feet open. There we go. And then this one, and then I get the card, and boom. So yeah, 560 Gs, so technically weaker than my regular Ventus Ingram, but still cool. Do a little spin. There are those dual attribute symbols, super neat. I know they're kind of hard to see because it's translucent, but I mean, it's just so cool to look at. I think this is definitely one of my favorites. I don't know, I wasn't a fan of Master Ingram in the show, but just this ball design and everything is super neat. Yeah, and just to close them up, you just feet go in, and then it's just kind of like Ingram, everything closes in together. Boom, done. Alright guys, so that is it for this review of Shun's evolutions from the first 2 seasons. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, drop a comment, and feel free to ask questions. Peace out.